You're trying to get into Final Fantasy XIV? Well, here are 5 tips that'll help you with that. At number 1, there are 3 roles in the game: DPS, healer, and tank. If you want to get through the game the fastest and you're a solo player, I would highly recommend going DPS. Healer and tank can solo content, but DPS will kill things faster, which will obviously make getting to the newest expansion easier and faster. But hey, you can play every role on one character, so if you don't like DPS, you can switch it anytime. At number 2, don't buy level or story skips. It might seem tempting to skip straight to the newest expansion by buying story skips, or maybe you don't want to level your character 1 to 70. In my opinion, and in a lot of other players' opinions, it'll ruin the experience of the game. The story of Final Fantasy XIV is a big reason for why people like Final Fantasy XIV, and is considered one of the best stories told in a Final Fantasy game. And if you skip from A Realm Reborn to Heavensward, or even further, it'll make things a lot more confusing. And when it comes to buying level skips, you're going to have no idea how to play your class, and even if you do learn the rotations by watching a guide, it's still going to be hard for you to play it for like tens of hours. Also, each class has their own story, so you're going to be missing out on story content and special armor and weapons that you get from those story quests. So when you're buying these skips, you're missing out on a lot of content, and it's just not really worth it, especially if it's your first time going through the game. At number 3, if you find yourself getting bored going through the base game, A Realm Reborn, try to do something different. Level a new class, or maybe try a gathering or crafting job. Gathering is actually really fine compared to other MMOs. When it comes to gathering, I would recommend botanist and mining first, and then when you feel like it, fishing. Fishing can be a lot more time consuming, but can still be really rewarding. And when it comes to crafting, I'd recommend trying to level multiple crafting jobs at one time, because if you're going to rely on just one, you're going to be spending a lot of money. And in general, crafting jobs, when you're leveling them, are going to be very, very expensive, so get ready to spend a lot of gil, or time. Both really. At number 4, as you play through the game, you might think your gear is underleveled, and it probably is at some point. The biggest thing is not to buy gear from the marketplace. Obviously some things are easier or cheaper to buy from there, but starting gear is extremely overpriced by players, and a lot of the time you're going to be getting better gear within a couple hours. So don't worry, quests will give you a lot of gear, and if you're really struggling, just run the highest level dungeon that you can, and you'll always get at least 1 or 2 good drops from those. And at number 5, it might seem kind of obvious to some people, but try to be social. The FF14 community is great, and if you need help with something, just ask around. Try to join a free company as well, which is like a Final Fantasy XIV equivalent to a guild, and try to have fun. And obviously Final Fantasy XIV, like every other game, has toxic players, but from my experience it's nowhere near as bad as other big MMOs like World of Warcraft or Elder Scrolls Online. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you disliked it, dislike it, and tell me why in the comment section.